like it good. What have we got here? Oh, stop this thing!
The goblin seems unsure whether to bow to you or attack.
What do you want? Oh, I mean, what do you need? What? Oh, quick!
What path lies before me?
Let's have some fun. Over here.
I'm ready.
Finding my way.
Now this is my happy place. Open up. I will ascend. In my best interest.
The worms will feast on your sorry carcass when I'm done with ya! Pawn to Cleric 4.
best be on my way.
What's the plan? On my way.
This is my time. Coming through.
Let's cook with fire, baby. Count on me.
Time to strike.
give up. Mercy, please. I know things. If you let me live, I'll make it worth your while. I promise. My lot are camped nearby. I can get you inside. No hassle. You can loot it, do whatever. There's a hidden path. Past the bridge into the camp. Over to the side before you reach the first guards. Easy. No! Why? Cut me loose! Bagacabara. Those pustulant thugs. Well, get on with it. Compensation? Was that all? Well, I expected worse from the likes of you. Take my pack, if you can find it. The only reason those goblins caught me was its weight. I'll travel lightly from now on. Ignorance is alive and well, it seems. Deep gnomes aren't restricted to the Underdark, you know. I've lived in Baldur's Gate for years. I'm in search of a friend. I fear he's in trouble. See this? I gave it to him years ago before I left home. I found it around the neck of a thug in the lower city. It was speckled with blood. My friend, nowhere to be found. But I still have hope. I have reason to believe he's in the Underdark. Hopefully, I'll pick up his trail from there. I always help my friends. On that note, I bid thee farewell. If we should meet again, well, we will have met again.
I'll take that. I'll give it a shot.
Shadowheart's attention is fixed on a damaged old statue.
We should keep moving.
You already know as much as I do. Best ignore it. As long as it doesn't hamper us too much.
So, that's what people...
What's in here?
I can't quite believe you've been a pickup artist all these years, Astarion. Most of the things you say still sound like you're in a 2-copper paperback, read by little girls.
I sound like a charming rake, you mean? The hero everyone fawns over. Well, if the doublet fits.
My condition likes being ignored as little as I do. I must consume another artifact. And soon. Thank you. Good gods. It hardly has any effect. Oh, Mystra, have mercy on us all. Listen, I need to speak to you, to all of you. It would be unconscionable of me to remain silent. I appreciate it greatly, but I can no longer keep you in the dark. You have to know who I was. You have to know who I really am. What I am is a walking shadow of the promise I once held. I'm what one might call a wizard prodigy, who from an early age could not only control the weave, but compose it, much like a musician or a poet. Such was my skill that it earned me the attention of the mother of magic herself, the Lady of Mysteries, the goddess Mystra. She revealed herself to me and she became my teacher. In time, she became my muse, and later even my lover. Oh, yes. We enjoyed each other's company. Body, mind, and soul. But even so, I desired more. You see, no matter how powerful a wizard we mortals can become, we never scratch more than the surface of the weave. Mystra keeps us in check. There are boundaries she doesn't let us cross, yet every time I was with her, I stood on the precipice, gazing into the wonders that lay beyond. I sought to cross her boundaries. Though not, I think, my methods. I tried to convince her. I pouted. I pleaded. Swore my ambition was only to serve her better. But she only smiled and told me to be contented. But inconceivable as it seems to me now, I shared a bed with a goddess, and yet I wasn't satisfied. So I sought to prove myself worthy to her instead. We come now to the crux of my folly. Shall I share the story behind it, or would you rather head straight to its sordid finale? Very well. Here goes. Once upon a very long time ago, a mighty lord lived in a tower. A flying tower, to be precise. I'll save his history for another time, but the gist of it is that he sought to usurp the goddess of magic so that he could become a god himself. And he almost managed, but not quite. And his entire empire, Netheril, came crashing down around him as he turned to stone. The magic that was unleashed that day was phenomenal. Roiling like the prime chaos that outdates creation. Even the weave itself could not withstand the onslaught. It fractured, then shattered, and all magic was lost to the mortal realms, until the day Mystra returned. She restored the weave, reuniting all its scattered shards. Or so I thought. Until, in the course of my studies, I learned of a book. A Netherese tome in which a piece of the fractured weave had been sealed beyond her reach. What if, I thought, what if, after all this time, I could return this lost part of herself to the goddess? You know me. My gestures can never be grand enough. I was certain that this deed of raw power, draped in romance, would convince Mystra to take me by the hand and welcome me into her hitherto forbidden domains. I was mistaken. I obtained the fabled book and took it into my study. As for what happened next... Here. Place your hand over my heart. Let me show you.
You feel the tadpole quiver as you realize Gale is letting you in, into the dark. You see through Gale's eyes, staring down the corridors of a dread memory. A book, bound, and suddenly opened. Inside there are no pages, only a swirling mass of blackest weave that pounces. Its teeth, its claws, it's unstoppable as it digs through and becomes part of you. And gods, is it ever hungry.
What is it? What do you see?
Thankfully, the moment I absorbed the fragment wasn't enough to kill me outright. It was only the beginning. This Netherese blight, this orb, for lack of a better word, is balled up inside my chest. And it needs to be fed. As long as I absorb traces of the weave from potent enough sources, it remains quiet. Were it ever to fully destabilize, however. Rather worse, actually. I will erupt. I don't know the exact magnitude of the eruption, but given my studies of Netherese magic, I'd say even a fragment as small as the one I carry, it'd level a city the size of Waterdeep. I know. All of this. It must feel like a betrayal. Say the word, and we'll part ways.
You'd have us debate that Netherese Jack-in-the-Box should be a blip on the horizon by now.
Come now, have a heart. Gale is one of us, and we should stand by his side.
I would consume some midnight tears and venture as deep into the Underdark as I possibly could. Till they cloud my eyes forever. With a bit of luck, I'd manage to make it to a mind-flared colony so that when the orb erupts, one loud, last song of vengeance would reverberate through the dark. Wouldn't be a heroic end, but coarsely poetic enough in its justice. That is a great relief. Oh, a great relief indeed. You truly are a soul that steals my own. From all my new rallied heart, I thank you. I thank you all. I understand if you stand against me. I'm humbled if you stand with me. Either way, I will do my best not to let you down. I stand at a precipice, but if you do not give up hope, neither shall I. I'll fight. I'll resist as long as I can. Now, even I am tired of the sound of my own voice. Let us venture forth. I do enjoy our conversations. What do you need? If it should ever come to that, if I ever know I am no longer able to stop it, I will do anything I can to ensure no one but me pays for my mistakes. I will find the remotest place on the surface of Faerun, or perhaps far below in the depths of the Underdark. I will await that death, alone. I promise I will not betray your trust. You kept me by your side despite the menace that I am. If worst comes to worst, I will be long gone before the curtain falls. Ah, yes. Karsus. Karsus was perhaps the most powerful wizard that ever lived. The child who would be a god, the elves called him. And he tried. With a spell of his own devising, he endeavored to usurp in one fell swoop the power of the goddess of magic. Mistral, she was called then. Imagine what it must have felt like. To be a god. To know yourself, to be untouchable. To be mistaken. As Karsus aimed his spell at her, she began to unravel. And with her, the entire weave. Too late did he realize what he had unleashed. It would have been the end of everything had not Mistral sacrificed herself. The goddess of magic is all magic. By dying, the entire weave was lost, and the spell that challenged a god failed. It was the end of Mistral. The end of Karsus, and the end of an entire civilization. As the child who would be a god was turned to stone, his empire came crashing down around him. The floating cities of Netheril were no more. An event that came to be known as Karsus's folly. For a spell, Mistral was reborn as Mistra. Upon her return, the weave returned with her. Now, so many centuries later, I try to follow in the footsteps of Karsus. Not to destroy Mistra, but to prove my love for her. I tried to control only a fraction of the magic that was unleashed that fateful day. I merely sought to return one tiny diamond to an imperfect crown. Gale's folly, one might call it. History, repetition. It's the way things go. I do enjoy our conversation.
To think, Gale's had this devastating all within himself the entire time, and only just mentioned it. Who'd keep a secret like that from his friends? You can't trust anyone these days.
Sir Gale's been walking around this whole time with some sort of magic bomb in his chest. I'm not normally one to begrudge someone their secrets, but that's something I should know.
Hey, you.
Well met.
Speak. Oh, enough waiting. I crave blood.
What a day.
Defender of the people.
Salutations.
I can do better. I must.
Looking at something? I'm looking too, but not seeing very much. Another quirk of my affliction. Preening in the looking glass. Petty vanity. Of course I miss it. I've never even seen this face. Not since it grew fangs and my eyes turned red. I don't know. I can't remember. My face is just some dark shape in my past. Another thing I've lost. What? I want to know what the world sees when it looks at me. What you see. Oh, go on. Very good. Now just tell me I'm beautiful and we can call it a day. Hardly. There's also gold, sex, revenge. Quite the list, really. But failing any of those, I will always settle for shallow praise. Hello, beautiful.
Speak.
Well met.
Always a delight to speak with you. What can I do?
Hey, you.
So...
Hello, beautiful. I was just wondering when you'd invite me back for a bite. Darling, I thought you'd never ask. Lead on.
Well met. That's the
Always a delight to speak with you.
with...
So, Gale, how is your sad, hopeless pining going?
I'm hardly pining. But a year or more since Mistra cast me aside.
Oh, my dear wizard, I wasn't talking about Mistra.
Don't burn yourself.
1, 2, tie my laces. 3, 4, sideways faces.
Wretched thing. Pull yourself together.
Don't mind if I do. Anything of use?
I wouldn't have predicted the night you shared with our friend Lae'zel. You didn't consider it beneath you.
They were beneath me at times, but also above me, and standing at certain points.
That's enough. I get the picture.
What's that?
Tastes like chicken. No chicken. Tastes like fish. Gentlemen, contain yourselves. This quarrel sours our feast. Besides, tastes like pork. And what surprise is this? Brothers, look here. I have eyed yet another prize. Fortune favors our bellies. Stranger, be you friend or food. The mark is her measure. Show us the brand of the absolute. Am I not astonishing? A robust diet makes for a shrewd mind, you see. I am a gourmand. And you, a delicacy. Unless you bear the mark, of course. It's dinner time, boys!
Time to move.
Sometimes the only way out is through.
The hags are hiding. Battle favors the fearless. I know just what to do. What fools these mortals be.
Onward.
Put him up. That's it.
No time to waste.
Something over there.
Let's do it.
Shadowheart, the way you paint around your eyes, they look permanently cloaked in shadow.
It brings me closer to Lady Shah. One day, all of our eyes will feast on her endless darkness. Besides, I think it suits my bone structure.
And yet your bed pillow bears barely a smudge. You are a woman of many talents.
Someone's diary. Might explain what happened here.
admire your courage, Gale.
Thank you. Any particular reason?
Between the orb and the bug, you've got more than your fair share of unwelcome passengers.
What can I say? Mother always taught me to be a gracious host.
Well, hello.
Everything is clear.
You're an impressive fighter, Gale. You should consider a new name.
I take it you have some suggestions?
The Wizard Wonder. Or how about the Master of the Weave?
Tempting. But I think we might already have the maximum number of theatrical titles.
Gotta be something in this heat.
I was wondering about your queen, Blackith. What tales of her reach us are terrifying. I suppose that's not how you would describe her.
More for me?
Vlaakith is unity, fear and beauty, life and unlife. Eyes like onyx, teeth like daggers. There is none more perfect.
Gotta be something in
Sounds
this
vile. I assume the meaning of perfect was lost in translation.
Getting drunk off that promising ain't fair. Gotta be something in this heat.
Do you have someone waiting for you in Baldur's Gate, Astarion? A sweetheart, perhaps?
No sweethearts, no. I prefer them savory.
This is what I get for trying to strike up conversation.